colleague Melone, and today I'm going to talk about the intersection of human-computer interaction, also known as HCI, and technical editing. This is an important topic because technical editors play a huge role in shaping how people interact with technology, but HCI is often overlooked in editing discussions. Major HCI textbooks like Dix et al.'s Human-Computer Interaction focus on design, user interfaces, usability, but don't mention technical editing. Likewise, technical editing books like Cunningham et al.'s Technical Editing and Introduction to Editing in the Workplace, or Rudin-Eaton's Technical Editing, they address information design and effectiveness of documents in helping readers understand and complete tasks, but they don't clearly incorporate HCI principles. In academic databases, few studies explicitly link HCI to technical editing as a discipline. Why does this matter? Because technical editors play a key role in how users engage with digital information. If we apply HCI principles to editing, we can improve usability, trust, and interaction with content. Here's what I'll be covering today. First, I'll provide a quick definition of human-computer interaction. Then I'll discuss HCI's role in editing and how these fields connect. Next, I'll discuss research insights and detail what recent studies say about editing, usability, and trust. Then, I'll summarize what editors can learn from this research. And finally, I'll propose some open questions and areas for further research. Let's get to it. So let's start with a simple question. What exactly is HCI? Human-computer interaction, or HCI, is a multidisciplinary field of study that focuses on design of computer technology and the interaction between humans and computers. It combines elements of areas like computer science, psychology, sociology, and design. Academically, researchers study how humans process and use technology and digital interfaces, while in design practice, HCI focuses on making technology interfaces user-friendly. So think about UX design, usability testing, and accessibility. The idea is to understand how humans engage with technology and then design with those insights in mind. Now, you may be wondering, what does HCI have to do with technical editing? Technical editors aren't just fixing grammar, they shape how users understand and interact with information. HCI principles help editors make content clearer, more usable, and more trustworthy. Some important areas where HCI and technical editing intersect are clarity and usability. Editing ensures technical documents are easy to read and act on. User-centered communication. Editors structure information to help users find what they need. Digital text integrity and trust. Editors prevent misinformation and ambiguous content. And politeness and persuasion. Editors help shape tone and language, which affects how users respond to content. Now let's look at some research that involves editing and HCI. In Michael Alber's chapter, Editing for Human Information Interaction from Editing in the Modern Classroom, he examined how graduate students approach technical editing. His findings stressed several issues for editors to focus on when incorporating HCI. Firstly, there's an overemphasis on grammar. Many editors focus too much on surface-level corrections rather than audience needs. While grammar is obviously important, HCI teaches us that editors must prioritize usability to ensure users can find and process information quickly. Also, neglect of global-level editing. He found structural issues such as organization, flow, and user interaction with content were often overlooked. From an HCI perspective, this is a significant oversight because poorly structured content increases cognitive load, making it harder for users to process information. And interestingly, the study also found a preference for substantive feedback. Subject matter experts, or SMEs, prefer higher level content focused revisions rather than just grammar and style fixes. So why does this matter for editors? If editors focus only on copy editing, they risk producing grammatically correct but ineffective documents, ones that may be hard to navigate, poorly structured, or misaligned with user expectations. Technical editing is not just about fixing words, it's about designing content for usability, accessibility, and interaction. So by integrating HCI principles, editors help create documents that are not just correct, but also functional, efficient, and user-friendly. Next, let's examine how politeness affects compliance in high-risk cases, such as security communication. In House and Giordano's Politeness and Security Directives, Insights in Browser Compliance for the Human Element, they explored how politeness and security messaging affects users' intentions to comply with security directives. An experiment was conducted using 3 types of online communication: text-based messages, text and image-based messages, and video-based messages. Each format was divided into polite versus impolite messaging. Their study found that when people received a message in a richer format, like a video instead of just plain text, they found it easier to process. This means they didn't have to think as hard to understand what was being asked of them. When a message required more mental effort to process, people were less likely to follow the security instructions. If a message was confusing or required too much thinking, people were likely to ignore it. For text-based messages with plain text or just text with images, whether the message was polite or rude didn't really change how likely people were to comply. The way the message was worded didn't make much of a difference. People followed it or ignored it based on other factors. But for video-based messages, politeness mattered a lot more. When the message was delivered in a video, people responded better when it was polite rather than rude. So the bottom line is, how a message is delivered affects how easily people understand it. If a message is hard to process, people are less likely to follow the instructions. And in videos, tone and politeness make a difference in whether people comply with the message. So when editing, if you want people to follow security or compliance rules, make the message easy to understand and consider using polite video instructions for best results. One of the more concerning research areas describes how digital text can be subtly manipulated to mislead users. In Trowbridge et al.'s Ambient Tactical Deception via Malware-Based Social Engineering, they explore Ambient Tactical Deception, or ATD, which is a cyber attack that manipulates reality by subtly altering language in digital text. By changing words and sentiment in online text, ATD can reshape a person's perception of events, people, or ideas without them realizing it. The consequences are misinformation, security risks, and altered perceptions which have real-world impacts. Language itself constructs reality. Even slight changes in wording can influence emotions, trust, and decision-making. For editors, this raises 2 major ethical concerns. Firstly, detecting and preventing misleading text. Editors must ensure that content is accurate and resistant to manipulation. Also, editors must avoid unintentional manipulation. They must be careful with tone, phrasing, and structure to avoid deceptive persuasion techniques, even unintentionally. Consider persuasive design tactics that trick users into actions they may not take otherwise, like misleading opt-in settings. If an editor frames content in a way that subtly pressures users, are they enhancing usability or manipulating behavior? Technical editors must remember their ethical responsibility. They must balance persuasion with honesty, ensure transparency, and prevent deceptive messaging. So what should technical editors learn from this research? Firstly, editors must practice audience-focused editing, moving beyond grammar and sentence-level correction to usability improvements. Also, politeness affects compliance. Tone influences user trust and engagement. And finally, text integrity matters. Editors must detect misleading text and ensure clarity. They also have an ethical obligation to ensure they're not dangerously persuading readers. The bottom line is editors are more than just proofreaders. They're the final checkpoint before content goes live. They safeguard information by ensuring digital content is accurate, usable, and ethical. There's still a lot to explore in HCI and technical editing. Firstly, how can we train editors to focus on audience needs over grammar? What topics need more focus? What strategies can we use for training? Also, we should consider if politeness in technical documentation varies across cultures. The study I referenced only used participants from one country. And regarding deceptive writing practices, what tools can help and prevent text manipulation? Maybe some sort of AI tool. In an age where every word matters, remember the power to inform and influence lies in your hands. As editors, we're the gatekeepers of truth and clarity, ensuring that our digital world remains accurate, ethical, and trustworthy. Thanks for watching. If you want to chat more about technical editing in HCI, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn.